Hola Marina, ¿cómo estás hoy?
Hola Ben, pues fenomenal, ¿tú qué tal?
Muy bien. Oye, es que te veo mejor que solo muy bien. ¿Cómo estás de verdad?
Estoy imparable hoy.
Estás imparable. That's what I like to hear. Marina is imparable. It means she is unstoppable. Hang on a minute. ¿Estoy imparable o soy imparable?
Estoy if I feel today unstoppable, but if I am unstoppable, then full time, diría, soy imparable, Ben.
Marina is full-time unstoppable. I can tell you. So I reckon soy imparable. If you
Sometimes, I'm not always unstoppable.
Okay. All right.
Mainly.
Good. Soy imparable. We're going to be using that phrase later on or teaching you about it. We've got some great phrases like that coming up later on today. Real Spanish, as always. If you want a ser and estar refresher, by the way, then it doesn't matter what level you are. Go back and listen to our Inspired Beginners podcast about that, because that covers, when we use ser and estar, whether it's temporary, whether it's something that you're always like that. So, Marina es imparable, I can tell you, and today está imparable. Fantastic. So, today's episode is called Real Spanish Speaking Confidence, right? Because this came up from a comment that was sent to us by somebody who said, and excuse the language here, but somebody said, I screw up if I know that the person who I'm speaking to's English is better than my Spanish. So I think this is a common situation, isn't it?
Yes.
You're speaking to someone in Spanish, but you know their English is way better than your Spanish, and so maybe you start making more mistakes, or you just decide to switch to English because it's easier. But we're here to say that's no good.
No.
Now, let's start with it's totally understandable, first of all.
Yes.
Because what happened to you with the other way round?
Yes. This happened to me many times, especially with a couple of friends of Ben and my friends too, that lived in Spain and have lived here for a while. Especially Mike, who lives in Granada, our friend who lives in Granada, whose mom is Spanish and had a very good Spanish. And I would speak 2 phrases in English and then jump to Spanish because I felt shy of making mistakes.
Yeah, but that changed.
That
didn't it?
changed,
You
yes.
became able to speak, in this case in English, it's the other way around, obviously, with these people. How?
Yes.
Was it because you said to yourself, soy
It's an
imparable?
attitude change. It's an attitude change, exactly. It has to do with looking less good or not feeling confident about making mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's when you actually understand that making mistakes is okay, that communication is more important. First communication, and then we correct our mistakes. So it's not important making mistakes in the sense that mistakes are learning opportunities.
Yeah. Look, yo soy bastante tímido y un poco introvertido. I'm quite shy and a little bit introvert. I kind of, go one way and the other, but generally more introvert. But somehow when I started learning Spanish, I said to myself internally, soy imparable, a por ello, go for it. I don't care about mistakes because it's so important for me to improve my Spanish.
I don't think Ben had this problem as much as I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's a personality thing. So it's a perfectionism.
Yeah.
And ditch the perfectionism.
Yeah, and just go for it. I mean, yes, you're going to always come across Spanish speakers whose English is amazing, more and more, in fact, these days. And, but what are you going to do? You can't just wait until you find somebody with your own level. You might just say, well, this is the situation I've got. I've got the right to practice my Spanish. I love Spanish. Plus, I'm a Notes in Spanish listener, so I've got the real Spanish you're never going to learn in a textbook or a big name app. So I'm going to just go for it. If I'm a little bit shy, like Ben, a little bit introvert, fuera, out, gone, and I'm going to speak some Spanish. See? Have confidence.
Yes, as a learner, I think the only person we have to compare ourselves is with ourselves. Is compare yourself to your own improvement. You cannot compare your learning to the other people or the other person.
How do you say in Spanish, I'm happy because I know I've improved?
Estoy contenta porque he mejorado.
Yeah, you can just say that to yourself. He mejorado. Yeah, you can check in. ¿He mejorado últimamente? Have I improved recently? Pues sí. Yes. Entonces, I'm going to go for it. Okay? So that, it's all about boosting your internal confidence. Don't worry about mistakes. If Ben can do it, you can do it. Plus, you've got real Spanish on your side, right? Let's have a few real Spanish phrases now. we're going to start with the most basic thing in the world. If you are in a situation where you're speaking to a Spanish speaker and they are speaking a bit fast and you can feel your confidence slipping a bit, you can just ask them to slow down. How do you say that?
¿Puedes hablar más despacio, por favor?
Yeah, said very slowly there by Marina. I like that, yeah. All of these are listed underneath, by the way. Another situation that happens sometimes is you've got this really good English speaker with you, a Spanish person or a Spanish speaker who speaks very good English, and they switch to English when you'd rather carry on in Spanish. It's quite common, and it's usually just because they want to practice their English as well. But maybe you say, well, look, I'm here, I want to speak some Spanish too. How could you ask them that?
¿Te importa que hablemos un rato en español, por favor? Necesito practicar.
Yeah. Do you mind if we speak for a little while? Un rato en español. Necesito practicar. Say it again.
¿Te importa que hablemos un rato en español? Necesito practicar.
So, ¿te importa si? Do you mind? That's a lovely bit of Spanish, no? ¿Te importa si bajamos la música un poco? Do you mind if we turn the music down a bit? You know, do you mind? Te importa. Lovely phrase. Right, let's get back to some unstoppableness, right? Marina said at the beginning,
Soy imparable.
Soy imparable. I am unstoppable. Another way of saying that?
Soy una máquina, ven.
Soy una máquina. Literally, I'm a machine, but what it means is, again, I'm unstoppable, I'm fantastic, I'm brilliant.
And capable.
And the best of all.
Soy la leche, ven.
This one's as old as the hills, but it's as good today as it's ever been. Soy la leche. Literally, I am the milk, but it means I'm the best. Now, we're not suggesting that you go and say this to Spanish speakers because they might think you're a bit arrogant, but you need to be saying it to yourself internally. You need to, whenever you're going to go into a Spanish situation, no matter how good they are, you need to say, soy la leche.
Soy imparable.
Soy imparable. Soy una máquina. Say that internally and your confidence is already going to boost. Okay? Pues yo creo que ya está. We wanted you to boost your confidence also by boosting your Spanish. Another great way of having more confidence is knowing that you're doing the best for your Spanish and increasing your Spanish vocabulary, your real Spanish. So go and listen to our podcasts for beginners, intermediate, advanced. All of those series will hugely boost your confidence. If you get hold of the worksheets too, you've got all the wonderful real Spanish that we use in those listed for you and explained. So you're really going to feel triple confident when you know you've got the best real Spanish you possibly can. So that's in our whole enchilada pack. And yo creo que ya está. Leave us a comment.
Yes, please do share with us any confidence tip that you have so we can all learn from it.
Yeah, and if you want, you can just leave in the comments, soy imparable. ¿A que sí? Isn't that right? Okay, pues nada, hasta la próxima.
Nos vemos la semana que viene. Hasta
Adiós.
luego.